You're broke, but you want to buy a house. Sounds impossible, right? Wrong. I'm about to show you how people just like you are becoming homeowners without a big savings account. There's a new strategy in real estate that's changing the game for broke buyers, and I've got all the details. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't have any money saved up. Don't worry, because that's exactly what we're gonna tackle today. You see, a lot of people think you need a big fat wallet to buy a home, but that's not true at all. There are actually quite a few ways you can make it happen, even when you're short on cash. In this video, I'm going to show you how some special programs and clever financing tricks can turn you from a broke buyer into a proud homeowner. We'll talk about assistance programs, alternative housing options, and even some creative ways to get your foot in the door. But before we dive in, let me tell you about a surprising fact that most broke buyers don't know, and it could be the key to unlocking your dream home. Are you ready? Let's get started. Ready for that surprising fact? Here it is. There's no set minimum income required to buy a house. That's right, being broke or not having a huge savings account doesn't automatically disqualify you from home ownership. So what's the secret that's helping people with tight budgets become homeowners? Let's break down this broke myth and show you how it's possible. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't have a big savings account or a high-paying job. Well, here's the thing, you don't need either of those to buy a home. A lot of people believe you need to be rolling in cash to even think about owning a property, but that's just not true. Let's talk about the real challenges broke buyers face. Maybe you've got a low credit score or your debt-to-income ratio isn't looking too hot. These are common issues and they can make getting a mortgage seem impossible, but here's where it gets interesting. There are actually programs designed specifically for people in your situation. Have you heard of Fannie Mae's Home Ready or Freddie Mac's Home Possible? These are low-income home buying programs that are changing the game. They offer mortgages with down payments as low as 3%. That's right, just 3%. That means you could potentially buy a $200,000 home with only $6,000 down. Sounds a lot more doable, right? But wait, there's more. The FHA program is another great option for broke buyers. They've got flexible approval requirements and low down payment options. We're talking as low as $2,500. It's a first-time home buyers program and essentially creates a smaller second mortgage to help with down payment costs. These programs helped tons of people become homeowners when they thought it was out of reach. Now, let's talk about something that could save you some serious cash. Did you know that comparing lenders could save you between $600 to $1,200 on your mortgage payments each year? That's according to a Freddie Mac survey. So don't just go with the first lender you find. Shop around with 3 lenders and see who can give you the best deal. Here's the key takeaway. Being broke isn't a deal breaker for home ownership. There are programs designed to help people just like you. You might not have a big bank account, but that doesn't mean you can't have a place to call your own. Remember, buying a home isn't just about having tons of money. It's about knowing your options and using the resources available to you. Improve your credit score, lower your debt ratios, and make a financial choice that works for your monthly payments. With these programs and a bit of smart planning, you could be well on your way to home ownership sooner than you think. Think saving for a down payment while paying rent is impossible? You're not alone, but here's something that might change your mind. There are programs designed to help people just like you cover these upfront costs. Let's talk about how you can tap this hidden resource and make your home ownership dream a reality. When you're trying to save money for a home, it can feel like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You're paying rent, you're paying bills, and maybe even student loans. So how are you supposed to save thousands for a down payment on top of all that? Well, I've got good news for you. There's help out there, and it's called down payment assistance. Down payment assistance programs, or DPAs for short, are like a secret weapon for broke home buyers. These programs can help cover the upfront costs of buying a home, which is often the biggest hurdle for folks with tight budgets. And the best part, many of these programs are specifically designed for low-income home buyers. Now, you might be wondering, what's the catch? Well, there isn't one. These are legit programs offered by state and local governments to help more people become homeowners. They can provide grants or loans to cover your down payment and closing costs. That means you could potentially buy a home with little to no money out of pocket. But wait, there's more. Have you heard of Housing Choice Voucher Program? Some people also call it Section 8. This program isn't just for renters anymore. If you're eligible, you can actually use the vouchers to buy a home. It's another way the government is trying to help low-income households become homeowners. And if you're a teacher, law enforcement officer, firefighter, or emergency medical technician, I've got some extra special news for you. There's a program called Good Neighbor Next Door that offers some serious benefits. We're talking about a second mortgage that gets forgiven if you live in the home for 3 years or more. That's like getting free money to buy a house. Now, I know all this might sound too good to be true, but here's the thing. These programs are real and they're helping people like you become homeowners every day. Of course, there are some requirements. Many of these programs ask you to take homebuyer education courses, but don't worry, these courses are actually super helpful. They teach you all about home buying processes and how to manage your finances as a homeowner. The key takeaway here is that there's help available if you know where to look. These programs can provide crucial financial aid when you're trying to buy a home on a tight budget. It's like having a team of financial superheroes in your corner, helping you achieve your dream of homeownership. You've heard about down payment assistance and special programs, but what if I told you there are even more creative ways to become a homeowner? Let's talk about some out-of-the-box ideas that can make your dream of owning a home a reality, even if you're broke. Now, I know what you're thinking. Even with help, I still can't afford a house. But what if I told you there are ways to become a homeowner without breaking the bank? Ever heard of a rent-to-own agreement? Or maybe you've wondered about those manufactured homes you've seen. Those alternatives can be your secret weapon in the home buying game. Let's start with rent-to-own agreements. These are pretty cool because they let you rent a house with the option to buy it later. The best part? A chunk of your rent payment will go towards your future down payment. It's like saving for a house while you're living in it. How awesome is that? Next up, let's talk about manufactured homes. These aren't your grandma's trailer homes. Modern manufactured homes can be really nice, and they're way cheaper than traditional houses. Plus, you can often finance them just like a regular home if they're set up right. This could be a great way to get your foot in the door of homeownership. Here's another idea that might surprise you: crowdfunding. Yep, you read that right. Some folks are using crowdfunding platforms to raise money for their home purchase. It's like having a whole community chip in to help you buy a house. Pretty neat, huh? Now let's talk about USDA loans. If you're okay with living in a rural area, and trust me, some of these places are more suburban than you'd think, you could get a house with zero down payment. That's right, zero. These loans are designed for low to middle income buyers, so if that's you, definitely check them out. USDA designations on loans are based on counties, not strictly cities. Here's a tip that could really help if your credit isn't great. Consider getting a cosigner. Having someone with good credit co-sign on your mortgage can help you get better loan terms. Just make sure it's someone you trust and who understands what they're getting into. But here's where it gets really interesting. Did you know that there are homes out there selling for way less than market value? I'm talking about HUD homes, and they could be your golden ticket to home ownership. Imagine getting a house for 30% less than similar ones in the area. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. HUD homes are properties that get foreclosed on, and now the government is selling them often at a big discount. And get this, some cities have programs where you can buy a house for just $1. Yeah, you heard it right, $1. Now, these are usually in areas that need some love, and you'll probably have to fix up the place. But if you're handy and don't mind putting some work in, this could be an amazing opportunity. All right, let's cap what we've talked about. We've covered assistance programs that can help with payment alternatives, alternative housing options like rent-to-own and manufactured homes, and some creative ways to finance your home purchase. Now, here's a step-by-step plan to make it happen. First, check your credit score and work on improving it. Even a small boost can make a big difference. Next, look into down payment assistance programs in your areas. There's probably more help out there than you think. Then, explore those alternative housing options we talked about, like HUD homes or manufactured homes. They could be your ticket to home ownership. Remember, being broke doesn't mean you can't buy a home. It just means you need to be smart and use these strategies. Your dream home is out there, and now you know how to go get it. So what are you waiting for? It's time to make your home ownership dreams come true.